Good afternoon. My name is Gabe Zollner. I'd like to take a few minutes, if I could, and talk about some of the videos that are going around that Glenn Beck released recently. And it's all to do with Benghazi. There's very little doubt that his organization, the Blaze, spent a great deal of time and effort to accumulate an incredible amount of information. And he clearly lays out the entire operation. And what this looks like is, it looks like Fast and Furious on steroids. I mean, absolutely. There's very little doubt that this is Fast and Furious on steroids. Why? Well, what it appears like is for whatever reason, President Obama decided that he really didn't like the Libyan Colonel Gaddafi any longer. Although they used to, I guess, communicate on what appeared to be a friendly basis, something changed. So what it appears that he decided to do, and this is again according to what Glenn Beck has laid out, what he decided to do was arm the insurgents in Libya. And by arming the insurgents in Libya, they were able to overpower Gaddafi's forces. Gaddafi ended up being murdered. He ended up being raped and slain in the streets and dragged to the streets. And so now we no longer have any concerns with Gaddafi. Well, now it appears that a very, very close friend of President Obama is the President of Turkey. Now, according to Glenn Beck, and I believe what Glenn Beck identified as being an issue, the President of Turkey does not like the President of Syria. So guess what? Now, Turkey, indirectly through Libya, is arming the insurgents in Syria. And so the obvious expectations is that the Syrian president will soon be finding the same fate as did Colonel Gaddafi. And what we have, as I said earlier, is we have Fast and Furious on steroids. I mean, it's incredible. And this is all going around and around and around, and we're all being exposed to it, and they're denying the administration's denying any direct involvement. Well, you can run, but you can't hide forever. The truth will come out, and when it does, it's going to be real nasty for pretty much everybody in the administration. That would include President Obama, it would include Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and the Secretary of Defense, Leon Panetta. It's just incredible that this all has come out. And what's more incredible is that it isn't getting a whole lot of media attention. Very little, as a matter of fact, other than what's being talked about on Fox News and by Glenn Beck on The Blaze. The other media outlets hardly make mention of it. So what has to change? Well, what has to change is once Governor Romney becomes President Romney, he has to revoke the licenses of all of these media outlets that are nothing more than propaganda centers. The news media is supposed to provide news to the American people. That isn't what's happening. If the American people knew the truth about what's going on in Washington under the leadership of Obama, very few people would vote for him, other than those people that are receiving direct benefit from many of his programs. But those people do not compare to the other American people that are out there. So anyway, I hope and pray that this nightmare will end, and it'll end real soon, hopefully on the 6th of November. Thank you.